Welcome to OIC Training by Unogeeks. So it's a first session for your batch today, and I'll start with my introduction. This is Prasad. I have almost 20 years of experience in integration space, almost 7 to 8 years in OIC. In fact, I've been using Oracle Integration Cloud for almost 7 to 8 years now. In fact, I've been using it from day one Oracle released it. And all the use cases, I've done close to 10 to 12 Fusion Cloud implementation projects using OIC as a key integration tool. And all the use cases that we're going to cover as part of the course, 15 complex integration flows, 5 EBCS, 5 PCS applications, whatever we are going to build, they are the real-time scenarios built and deployed for actual clients like HSBC and British Telecom. Okay, that's a quick intro. And this is what I have an agenda for today. And before I proceed with the session, one quick look at the participants list. I had a one-on-one discussion with each one of you guys, and I know your profile very well. So we'll skip the introduction part of the participants because I know all of your profiles very well. And one important point, guys, I'll be going at a very slow pace or a moderate pace rather. If you think I'm going too fast or if I'm going too slow, feel free to stop me and let me know. Whenever you join a training session, by default, you will be put on mute, guys. That does not mean you cannot speak up. You can unmute yourself at any point in time if you want, ask the question and then go back on mute. And another important point is, yes, I would be leaving out at least 5 minutes towards the end of the session only for question and answers. So if you have a question, and if it is something that can wait, I would request you to wait until the end of the session and then put your question forward. Okay, so that we don't have too many disturbances in the session. Only after I answer all the questions, I'll close the session. Okay, so since you're muted by default, don't assume that you cannot speak up during the session. Okay, and this is what I have on agenda for today, guys. Before we talk about what exactly Oracle Integration Cloud is and what components we have within it, we would spend few minutes. We'll spend few minutes to understand why do we need a product like OIC in first place, and what integration challenges do we have today. Remember, guys, the IT landscape of the companies has changed completely. It's not the same. That it was 5 or 10 years before. It's a completely different challenges that we have to deal with. So what are those new integration challenges that you and me have to deal with as an integration specialist? We'll discuss this for around 5 to 10 minutes. And after that, we will understand what is Oracle Integration Cloud. Maybe we'll spend maximum 15 minutes in here. And we will immediately get into Oracle Integration Cloud Instance. And within OIC Instance, I will take a sample integration use case, and I'll show you how easy it is to build integrations in OIC. We're not going to create integration on day one, but with the help of a sample integration use case within OIC Instance, I'm going to show you what is the approach you're going to follow to achieve that use case. Okay, so that you understand why OIC is quite easy to use and quite famous as well. Now, why do we need a product like OIC in first place, guys? So if you look at IT landscape of companies, maybe 5 years or 10 years back, it used to be all on-prem applications, guys. It used to be all on-prem applications. So for example, if I'm running a manufacturing business, okay, and if I have to use e-business suite application to manage my manufacturing process or ERP operations, what is it that I used to do as a client, guys? I need to buy the required servers. First of all, I go to Oracle. I buy the required servers first. I need to install them on premise. I also need to onboard an DBA team, Oracle Apps DBA team. And my Oracle Apps DBA team is going to install e-business suite application on those servers that I've bought from Oracle. Okay, so point number one, I'm making huge upfront investment to buy those required servers. And I'm also going to put up a team to install that application. And it is also my responsibility to keep this application up and running 24/7, up to date in terms of security patches. So to keep it simple, I end up spending a lot of money upfront, and at the same time, I also spend equally good amount of time maintaining the applications or keeping them up and running 24/7 and all that stuff. So I need to do all of this apart from focusing on my core manufacturing business. And that's precisely where cloud computing comes into picture, or the cloud applications come into picture. Say, for example, if I if I have to use Oracle SCM Cloud instead of EBS version, what do I need to do, guys? I just have to go to Oracle and say, boss, I want to use Oracle SCM Cloud application. Remember, SCM Cloud, it's nothing but software as a service product. It's called as SaaS products. These are called as cloud products or SaaS products. What Oracle is going to do, it is going to look at my data. It is going to look at my location. So my company is, so let's say, based out of Hyderabad. So they're going to look at the nearest data center. And yes, Oracle has a data center in Hyderabad itself. So what Oracle is going to do, it is going to install this SCM Cloud application on one of the servers on the in the Hyderabad data center. And Oracle is going to throw that Fusion Cloud application URL. After this application is installed on one of the servers, Oracle will share a URL with me. And all I would be doing is, as a client, I would just log into that application. Yes, I get a URL, I get a username and password. I would be using that software as a service from Oracle. And depending on the number of users I register in that particular product, I'm going to pay a bill to Oracle at the month end. Point number one, I don't need to make any huge upfront investment. Point number two, I'm least bothered about keeping this made or maintaining this application. It is not my headache to keep it up and running 24/7, or it is not my headache to keep upgrading that application every quarter. So Oracle is responsible for maintaining that application. So they're not just these advantages, guys. You get plenty of other advantages with the cloud applications. And for that reason, you see, most of the applications are moved into cloud today. Not just Oracle applications, guys, any custom on-prem application. Most of the clients are moving most of their applications into cloud because of the obvious advantages that cloud computing offers. Of course, if we talk about cloud computing, we can do for a couple of hours, but we're not here for that. So our intention is to understand what is a change in IT landscape. So earlier, 5 or 10 years back, if you look at the IT landscape of companies, it's all on-prem applications like eBusiness, your JD, Edwards, PeopleSoft. And if we have to integrate them, what we used to do, we used to use integration technologies like SOA to build point-to-point integrations between those applications. That's what we used to do 5 or 10 years back. But because of the advantages of cloud computing, clients have moved most of their applications into cloud. And every client has a hybrid IT landscape today. What does hybrid means? Yes, a typical client might be using some on-prem applications, and a same client might use Salesforce to manage their customers, and they might be using ADP to run the payroll, and at the same time, they might be using Oracle HC ERP Cloud to manage financials, and they might be using Oracle HCM Cloud to manage their employees. Okay, this is how a typical IT landscape of a companies look like today. What does it mean to you and me, guys? So this hybrid IT landscape brings in new challenges that we have to deal with. Challenge one, how do we integrate one Oracle Cloud application with another application, like HCM with ERP or ERP with SCM and so on? Challenge number two, how do you integrate Oracle Cloud application with non-Oracle Cloud applications such as Salesforce or ADP? Now you might say, Prasad, why should I integrate them? Now, the reason why you need to integrate is, so if a client is using Salesforce to manage their customers, and if they're using ERP to do a financial operations, what does a client's business user do, guys? Whenever they get a new customer, The client or business user, a client is going to enter that customer details in Salesforce. And client wants to create AR invoice in ERP Cloud. Now, after client creates a customer in Salesforce, when they come into ERP Cloud, client would expect that customer created in Salesforce to show up in ERP Cloud so that a client can invoice the customer. Okay, so this way you would have to integrate Oracle Cloud applications with non-Oracle Cloud applications as well. So, for example, a company, there are thousands of clients out there who use Oracle HCM Cloud. And those clients implement modules like global HR, absence management, and other modules, but they might not have implemented payroll here. They might be relying on ADP to run a payroll. What does it mean? It means we need to send an extract from HCM Cloud to ADP on a daily basis. And that should contain the new hires, terminations, promotions, etc. So this way, you would have to integrate Oracle Cloud applications with non-Oracle Cloud applications like Salesforce and ADP. And who would help you do all of that? Oracle Integration Cloud. And what is challenge 3? Challenge 3 is how do you integrate cloud applications, be it Oracle or non-Oracle, with on-prem applications? So these are the 3 integration challenges that you and me have to deal with in 2024. How do you integrate 2 Oracle Cloud applications? Oracle Cloud with non-Oracle Cloud, cloud applications with on-prem applications. And that's what I've been listed down here. So legacy style integration build, I'm not sure how many of you have exposure to SOA. It's absolutely not required at all. But the way you build integrations legacy style is usually too complex, and it's also not easy to maintain as well. And there's no easy way to move the data from cloud to on-premise and vice versa. And you also don't have an option to automate a business process as well and integrate and align it with integrations. But in OIC, we have 3 cloud services. I'm going to talk more about it in 2 minutes from now. So all these integration challenges can be overcome by using Oracle Integration Cloud as a product. Now, how does it help us? I hate PPTs, guys. Yes, we will be sharing, after you enroll in a course, we'll be sharing all this training material with you, the PPTs, request payloads, about all the files, supporting files that you need. But all the sessions that we would be doing would be hands-on sessions. Now, I want all of you to understand how easy it is to use Oracle Integration Cloud to build the required components, required integrations, VBCS or PCS applications. So we'll spend next 30 minutes within OIC Instance trying to understand how easy it is to do it. Now, let me log into OIC Instance first. I'm logging into OIC Instance as a user 1. Now, the moment you log into Oracle Integration Cloud Instance, this is the screen you get to see. Now, first of all, we will be using OIC Gen 3 version, Oracle Integration Cloud Generation 3. So this is the latest version. It's released 3 to 4 months back by Oracle. And most of the client Oracle Integration Cloud instances are in Gen 3 today. Okay, nobody is using Gen 3 in the market today for training purposes. They are still using Gen 2, but we are using the latest one. And the moment you log into OIC Instance, this is what you get to see. And what exactly do we have in OIC, guys? There are 3 key cloud services in OIC. We've got integrations. You see design. So read this as integrations. Yes, we can build wide variety of integrations using OIC, as you can make out from the name itself. And when I say wide variety of integrations, you can build any sort of integration, inbounds, outbounds, web service-based approach integrations, file-based. We'll see a wide variety of them as part of the course as well. And apart from just building integrations, we can also build custom web or mobile applications using VBCS. With the help of VBCS, you can build the required screens, web or mobile apps. And so what sort of applications you build here? If your client wants a travel request application, or if your client wants an expense report application, or if your client wants an AR invoice application.
Prasad, a question here. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Like VBCS is like you can create your custom form and everything under VBCS and link to the OIC database or something like this.
I'll get into the granular details later on. Okay, so people don't even know what VBCS is. Let's take questions towards the end of it. Okay, so yes, VBCS comes with its own database to keep it simple. And the moment I say database, the second question comes is what sort of database can you tag to it? How do you connect to it? So all that story would come into picture when we do the first session in VBCS. I'll throw more light on it. Yes, it certainly comes with a DB attached. We normally replace that DB with a cloud database so that we can access it and we have a more flexibility in terms of building the data, building the web apps. Okay, so in VBCS, you can build the required web or mobile applications. And yes, it comes with a DB, everything gets stored in the backend. And apart from that, and if those custom web applications that you build in VBCS needs approval process support. So a client might say, Prasad, whenever my employee submit a travel request, it has to go to a manager for approval first. And after it is approved, then employee should receive a notification saying that their travel is approved. Or yes, they need to, when they submit a request from VBCS, they submit an expense report. It has to go through two layers of approval, manager plus audit team. And after that, we need to create expense report in ERP Cloud. So such custom end-to-end solutions can be created using OIC as well. You build those screens in VBCS, and to support those screens, you build approval process in PCS. And here, this is like our workflows. Functionality wise, it is similar to a workflow or our approval process. So here you can build any business process that your VBCS application needs. And we usually invoke that approval process from a VBCS app. So what makes OIC a killer product is you have it offers distinct capabilities, like you can build wide variety of integrations, web or mobile applications in VBCS, and to support them, you can build flows here, a business process here. These cloud services can talk to each other, and that's what makes it unique. So you can build a web app, kick off an approval process. After approvals are obtained, you can kick off an integration as well. So these cloud services can talk to each other. In fact, as part of the course, we'll be building one end-to-end solution wherein I'll show you how to link all those cloud services together. In fact, as part of the course, we'll build one end-to-end solution linking all the cloud services together. Now let's get into this one. So we'll go into integrations here. We'll get into the integrations part, and let's take a sample use case and try to understand how easy it is to build integrations in OIC. We're not going to build one, we'll understand the approach. What's the use case? Well, let's say your customer is using Salesforce to manage the customers. Okay, Salesforce is their main CRM system. And whenever your client gets a new customer, they're going to log into Salesforce and they enter the customer details there. And as soon as a customer hits a save button, that customer created in Salesforce should be showing up in ERP Cloud automatically so that the business user can raise AR invoice against that customer, because customer would have bought the goods or services from us. For which client needs to raise an invoice. So let me log into those two applications. Let me log into Salesforce first. Okay, just give me one moment, guys. I had to change the password of our Salesforce yesterday. Just give me one moment. Let me get that password and sign in. Okay, I'm able to sign into the. So once you log into Salesforce application, you go into Sales Console. These are the cloud applications that we have in Salesforce. Go into Sales Console, and this is basically a CRM product from Salesforce. And Salesforce is the #1 CRM system, a customer relationship management system. And many clients use Salesforce as their main CRM system. And what is it that they're going to do? Whenever they get a new customer, they're going to add the customer in here. How do they do it? They go into the account screen and they're going to create a new account from here. Okay, so let's say a client has got a new customer called John, and he has probably bought something from a client. Okay, he has bought some goods or services from a client. Now, as soon as a client saves the customer in Salesforce, after they save the customer here, they want to go to ERP Cloud. I'm going to log into Fusion Cloud application here. And I'm going to log in as a finance implementation user. So this is basically a Fusion Cloud application or an ERP Cloud version. So if some of you are coming in from EBS background, so this is basically a Fusion Cloud application. So people refer to this with multiple names, don't get confused. Oracle Cloud, Oracle Fusion Cloud, Oracle ERP Cloud, Oracle HCM Cloud, everything can be enabled or activated within the same Fusion Cloud application. So this is basically an application that is running on one of the data centers of Oracle. That is why it is called as cloud application, and it is an ERP product which sits in cloud. Okay, and yes, as part of the course, when we send out onboarding email, we'll give you access to OIC, we'll give you access to Fusion Cloud application as well, because the use cases that we're going to build, right? You would need to access Fusion Cloud application, and you need to use this either as a source or as a target in some integrations. Now, when you log into OIC Instance or Fusion Cloud application, this is what you get to see. Ignore the banner at the top. So you see the home page here, and you also see an option you also see a navigator here. So in a different session, session number 4 or 5, I'll give you an overview of the navigation of this application. But for now, all you need to understand is when you come in here, right within the home page itself, you see various modules. And when you get into those modules, you have individual work areas. So these are called as groups and these are called as pages. That's the appropriate name for them. But some people call them as modules and these as work areas. Now, what is the expectation, guys? What is the use case? As soon as a client saves this customer in Salesforce, a client wants the customer to be created in ERP Cloud. Client wants the customer to be created in ERP Cloud. Because what does client want to do? They want to create AR invoice in ERP Cloud against this particular customer. Now tell me one thing, guys, can we create AR invoice? Can we create AR invoice in Fusion Cloud application without the customer details, guys?
No.
Certainly not possible, right? Because this is a mandatory field. And tell me one thing, guys, if you are from a client side and if you have created this customer, I come to you and say, hey boss, you have done a good job. Can you please create a customer as well here in ERP? I'll ask you to go ahead. I'll ask you to go to our manage customer screen again. And I'll ask you to create a customer here by clicking on a plus icon. I'll ask you to create a customer from here. I'll ask you to create a customer from here again, from this particular screen. Again, the same thing that you have done in Salesforce. Would you be happy to do it again, guys? What's the first thing that you can that you're going to ask? Prasad, can't you automate even the simple process, right? Because I've already done it here. Can't you bring in that customer and load it into ERP Cloud so that I can directly go ahead and create AR invoice or not? Certainly, client is going to say that. So this is a use case. Let's take this use case as an example. So what is the use case, guys? In short, whenever customer is created in ERP Cloud, whenever customer is created in Salesforce, same customer should be created in ERP Cloud. Two important considerations: no time gap, no manual intervention. So if you say that after you, if you say that, yes, I'll as soon as you save the customer here, this customer will be created in ERP Cloud, but not immediately after 1 day or after 4 hours. I'll not be happy with it because I need to invoice the customer immediately. So there should be no time gap and no manual intervention. So I'm going to just hit the save button here. I'm not going to perform any other action as a user. I don't really care what you do, but I want this customer to show up in ERP Cloud in this particular dropdown. I don't want to do any other manual action. So how are you going to achieve such use cases? This is just a sample use case, guys, that we are taking. I just want to drive home, or I just want to help you or guys understand how easy it is to build integration use cases. So when you get this use case, what is the first thing that you need to ask yourself, guys? You need to ask yourself, what are the systems that you need to interact with? What are the two systems involved in this use case, guys?
Salesforce and ERP Cloud.
Salesforce and ERP. And Salesforce is my source system, ERP is my target, right? So the first thing that I need to do is, when I go into OIC instance, I go into integrations. Before you create the integration, you need to establish connectivity from OIC instance. From OIC instance, we need to establish connectivity with Salesforce, and we also have to establish connectivity with Fusion Cloud application. Okay. First thing is, before you build the integration, you need to create the required connections. And with the help of connections, what is it that we're going to do? We would be establishing connectivity with the source and the target systems, guys. Now, how do we establish connectivity? So you say create connection. And when you create a connection, you have a lot of adapters available. So depending on the system that you want to interact with, you need to search for the adapter. So here I need to talk to Salesforce and ERP Cloud. So I just have to search for those adapters and create the required connections. First of all, if you see here, guys, you've got almost 100 plus adapters here. And these adapters make it very easy for you to integrate with those other systems. So you've got wide variety of adapters here, guys. You've got an adapter for Salesforce. You've got few adapters. You've got adapter for SAP. And if you search for Oracle, you've got almost like 20 plus adapters. And these adapters would help you to integrate with various Oracle applications. Okay, so most of the applications that clients use at an enterprise level, you have an adapter available for them. Now, what is it that we need? We need a Salesforce to ERP integration, right? So I need to pick up a Salesforce adapter first. I need to give it a name here. I need to give it a name. And I need to create a connection. And after I create a connection in the next page, I need to enter the login credentials of the Salesforce application. So for this integration use case, Salesforce is the first connection that we need to create. Okay, Salesforce is the first connection that we need to create. And so when you create a Salesforce connection, guys, in the next page, we need to enter username, password, token. So we need to enter tokens, and it's slightly complicated. So we're not going to get into the granular details. We're not going to create a Salesforce connection now, but just assume that it is done. Just assume that it is done. Remember, guys, we're going to do the exact same use case as integration number 13. We will be building the same integration use case as part of the course as integration 13. And when we do the use case as part of the training course in that session, I'm going to show you how to create a connection. And there are also a few setups that we need to do on the Salesforce side as well. So we'll be doing all of these setups, and we will also build the integration in that particular session. So I'm just trying to give you an overview of that today. So you need to create a Salesforce connection first. I'm not going to create it, but just assume that it is done. Just assume that it is done. And after the Salesforce connection is ready, what is the other system that we need to interact with, guys? Oracle ERP Cloud, right? So this is an Oracle ERP Cloud or Fusion Cloud application. So let's create a connection. And I'm going to say UG66 ERP demo connection. And UG66 is your batch identifier, guys. So whatever components I'm going to create for your batch, whether it is a connection, integration, or any VBCS or PCS application, I'm going to prefix UG66 to it so that it will be easy for you to understand what are the components that Prasad created in a session. So you say UG66 ERP connection, go ahead and create it. And what do we need? So when you create ERP connection, it asks you, Prasad, which is a ERP instance that you need to talk to. So if you go back in here, so this is a ERP Cloud instance that I need to interact with. So I just have to copy the ERP Cloud instance URL until.com. And I need to log in as FinIMPL, a finance implementation user, and I need to get the password. I don't want to expose the password in the session, guys. So let me enter the password here. I'm going to get the password and enter it here. Okay, I've copy pasted the password here and the connection is getting tested. So this way, you're going to establish connectivity with a source and target systems from OIC Instance first. And as soon as both the connections are ready, what is it that you're going to do? It's going to take, so the connection is 8% at the moment. So what OIC is trying to do now, it is trying to log into this ERP Cloud instance with this username and password. And if it is a right username and password, the connection would go through and you would see a confirmation message that it is tested successfully. And you just have to go back and try to save the connection. So this way you establish connectivity from OIC with a source and target connection. And once that is done, what is it that you're going to do? You need to go ahead and create an integration flow using those connections. And let me show you how that integration is going to look like. We're not going to create it from scratch now, but I just want to show you how it's going to look like. Just ignore what I'm doing now. And what we're going to do is, after the connections are ready, we need to come into the integrations track here. We need to come into integrations and we need to create a new one. And when you create an integration, there are different styles that you can choose from. We are going to create this integration using application style, app-driven orchestration style. So that what would happen? Whenever you build an integration using app-driven orchestration style, what would happen, guys? The moment after you build the integration, when you activate it, what would happen, guys? There would be a URL generated. There will be a URL generated. And what is it that we're going to do? This endpoint URL, it looks like it has failed. Maybe there is a problem with one of the connections. That's why it has failed. But if you build an integration as app-driven orchestration, and if you go ahead and activate it, the moment you activate it, there would be a URL generated. Ideally, the status should change to active, and there would be a URL generated. So our requirement is, yes, we build an integration flow using app-driven orchestration so that there would be a URL generated, and that URL is what we need to call from Salesforce. Now, if we come back to the use case here, now when I got this requirement from Salesforce, guys, I was completely new to Salesforce. I don't even know ABC of it. And it could very well be the case with you guys. When you build integrations, please note that no client is going to expect you to know all the source and target systems thoroughly. Okay, so we would be dealing to see, our job is not to understand how Salesforce works or how ERP works. Our job is to integrate them. So in terms of capabilities of the Salesforce or ERP cloud applications, there will be technical teams to help us. So when I got this requirement, I got into a 2-hour call with a Salesforce technical team. And the Salesforce technical team has given me the inputs. So what they told me is, so whatever I'm going to explain in the next 10 minutes, right? So this is the stuff that Salesforce technical team has told me. So I told them this use case and I asked them one simple question. Boss, is there a way that I can automate a process flow in the background when client hits this button or when user hits this button? As soon as user hits this button in the Salesforce create account screen, can I automate something in the background? So a Salesforce technical team told me that, yes, Prasad, we have an option to automate a process in Salesforce. I'm repeating it one more time, guys. My intention is not to overload you on day one. Don't focus on the granular details. Try to get a high level approach of it. So whatever I'm going to explain now in the sets related to the setups of Salesforce, In real time, there would be Salesforce technical team teaching you all of this. So don't come to a conclusion that to learn OIC, I need to know all of this. Absolute rubbish. Nobody can know all the systems, and it is that particular application technical teams who would help you with it. So Salesforce technical team told me that we can create a process automation flow here. We can create a flow, and we can trigger that flow whenever a customer account is created. Okay, so we can create a flow like this, and what do we do from that flow? First of all, you can mention when you want that flow to be triggered. So in my use cases, whenever a customer account is created or updated, I want that flow to be triggered. So I want flow to start whenever a customer account is created or updated. And what do I want to happen? Or what do I want to do whenever this flow is triggered? Now I asked a client, what actions can I perform from approval flow? So these are the actions that you can perform. You can send out an email to someone if you want. You can update something back on a Salesforce, or you can send an outbound message. And this is what I'm looking for. Outbound message means this gives me an option to invoke an integration or call an integration. So I'm going to set up an outbound flow. And how is that outbound message going to look like? I'm going to set up an outbound message, which is going to look like this. Okay, so how is the flow going to be? As soon as user enters the customer details here and hits a save button, this flow would be triggered because a new customer account is created. And from the flow, we are calling this outbound message. And in this outbound message, you are basically calling that integration endpoint URL. So whatever this integration URL is generated, right? It has failed. I don't want to fix it by correcting the connections and all that now. It would eat up 5 to 10 minutes. I don't want to waste that time. But when it is activated, there would be a URL generated, and that URL is what you're going to plug in. So as soon as user hits the save button, the flow gets triggered. From the flow, outbound message gets triggered, and from the outbound message, the endpoint URL gets triggered. And what is this? This is nothing but this integration in OIC. And within the integration, what is the logic that you're going to plug in, guys? When you create an integration, what would happen? First of all, a blank screen would be created. There won't be anything in here. It would be a blank screen that you get to see. And what is it that you have to do within the integration? Within the integration, the first node that you have is called as a trigger. And the second, and whatever this is called as a trigger connection, and all the other connections that you see, remember these are 3 more connections used, right? So these are called as invoke connections. So first of all, we need to receive the customer details from Salesforce. So we are going to create a Salesforce connection. We are going to use Salesforce connection as a triggering point, and we receive the customer details. And after we receive the customer details, how I would have configured the Salesforce connection? I just have to click on the plus icon here, and I just have, how did I create it? I just pick up a Salesforce connection, and I configured that node. I've entered the required details here. With regards to the Salesforce, I've entered the customer here, the Salesforce password has changed, right? So I also need to update the password in the connection. That's why you're getting that error. But I would use that Salesforce connection here, and I will configure that as node number 1 first, as a trigger node. I'm going to delete this. Okay, and that's how, so you add a Salesforce connection first, and after you receive the customer details, what do we need to do? We need to go to ERP Cloud, and we need to create a customer here. We need to come into ERP Cloud, and we need to create a customer here. And I'm not sure how many of you know this, guys. I'm not sure how many of you know this, but it's to create a customer in ERP Cloud, it follows TCA architecture. So we cannot directly create a customer account, guys. We cannot directly create a customer account. Instead, we need to register it as a party and a party site first. And for a party site to be created, we need to create a location. And who is going to help you with this logic, guys? Like what exact services you need to call to create a customer in ERP Cloud? ERP technical consultant is going to help you with this logic. So first of all, you receive the customer details from Salesforce. And after you receive the customer details, we are going to use this. Remember this connection. What is this connection? Oracle ERP Cloud connection. And I've used Salesforce connection to receive the customer details. And I'm going to use ERP Cloud connection to first register the address as location, create a party and a party site, and then the customer account and an account site. How I would have added these nodes here. So I just have to click on a plus icon and I say, let's say I use this ERP connection. And what is it that we're going to do? I'm going to create a location first because that is the first step to create a customer. I'll say create location. And with the help of ERP Cloud connection, remember the adapter helps you or makes it easy for you to talk to that application, guys. Now it is asking you to select, Prasad, what is it that you want to do in ERP Cloud? Is it that you want to create an invoice or update a purchase order or delete a customer? So do you want to perform CRUD operations using web services in this Fusion Cloud application? Or is it that you want to import bulk data or you want to upload a file? So we'll worry about these two options later on. So in my case, I need to create a location in ERP Cloud. So since I have to create location in ERP Cloud, I select this option. I say continue. And here I would be able to see the standard SOAP services and REST APIs given by Oracle. Remember guys, Oracle, to help us integrate this Fusion Cloud application with other systems, Oracle has given thousands of standard SOAP services and REST APIs, guys. So I'm going to select services here, and I would select location service here. And the moment I select the location service, it's going to ask me, Prasad, what exactly do you want to do with the location service? Do you want to create a location or delete it, or do you want to update it? So you need to select the operation. Okay, so if you scroll down, you can select what is it that you want to do. Do you want to delete it or create it or update it? So I want to say create location. So what is it that I'm asking OIC to do here, guys? First of all, I'm using ERP connection. And what exact details we have in that ERP, guys? So I'm asking OIC to log into the CT80 instance as a finance implementation user with this password. And I'm asking it to create a location. Plain and simple. You just have to create a connect, establish connectivity, use that connection and mention what you want to do. And the moment you do that, what is OIC going to do, guys? OIC is going to say, okay, looks like another artifact exists. So let me do it this way. I'm going to say create location 1, because create location already exists in the, there is another artifact with the same name. So I just put 1 at the end to make it unique. And I say create location. I'm going to say finish. Now, what is it that I'm saying, guys? I'm asking OIC to go to ET80 instance and create a location. The moment I say that, it's going to ask me back, okay, Prasad, I'll go ahead and create a location, but tell me with what address details a location needs to be created. So as soon as you invoke a connection, you see a mapper getting created. This is what you call as a mapper component or a transformation component. And this is where you need to map the inputs to the service. Now, to create a location in ERP Cloud, we need to pass in the address details, right? What's the country, address, city, postal code, etc. Now, this is what you see on the target side because we have invoked a location service. And on the source side, what do we see, guys? So if you look at the payload we received from Salesforce, so this is what we received from Salesforce. What details we see? We see all the customer details here that we received from Salesforce. And all you need to do is, you just have to map them. You just have to map the fields from a source. You just have to map the fields from a source to the target. Billing country, billing street, you can map it to address 1, and billing postal code, you can map it to postal code. This is how easy it is to map the components from a source system to the target system. Remember, the attribute name might be different from source. And how do you map them? You just have to pick it up and drop it on the target. Now, what would happen? Whatever address is entered in the Salesforce, so with that address, a location would be created in ERP Cloud. And of course, there is a lot more complicated stuff that you can do in the mapper screen rather than just mapping a source attribute to a target attribute. And when we build our first component, I'm going to talk about all the options that you see here. And after you do this, you can go ahead and do a validate if the mappings are correct. And if everything is fine, you can go ahead and add the next logic. So what is it that you need after you create a location? What do we need? So this is exactly how I have added this. So first I added a Salesforce connection, then you add ERP to create a location. I have added ERP connection 2 more times to create a party and create a customer account. So this is how simple it is to build integration use cases in OIC, guys. All you need to do is establish connectivity with a target source and target systems, then build the integration flows, picking up appropriate style, use those connections within the integration and do the mappings. So OIC follows a configuration-based approach, guys. OIC follows configuration-based approach, zero code, absolutely no prerequisites to learn this particular course. You don't write a code anywhere. Okay, so this is exactly how you build the components. You create connections and use those connections in the integrations. And it is easy to integrate cloud applications with on-prem applications as well. If you go back in here, there is a component called, you see something called as a connectivity agent here. So this connectivity agent would help you to integrate cloud applications with on-prem applications. So it's easy to integrate cloud with on-prem and other applications as well. And not just the not just the integrations, guys. You can do web applications in VBCS, approval process in PCS, and these 3 cloud services can talk to each other. So which means you can also automate a business process and you can also invoke it from PCS and VBCS. Sorry, from integration and VBCS as well. Analytics is fine, it is taken off now. So that brings us to what exactly Oracle Integration Cloud is. It is basically a PaaS product from Oracle, platform as a service product from Oracle. And we are going to use this platform to build the required integrations, web apps, or approval process for our Fusion Cloud implementation projects. Remember, guys, I'm not sure how many of you know this. Fusion Cloud application comes with a lot of restrictions. You don't even get access to a database for that matter. You don't even get access to a database of Fusion Cloud application. So any integration, or if you want to even do an automated file upload into Fusion Cloud, simple integration use case like automated file upload, a client needs to use OIC in that project. Any Fusion Cloud implementation project cannot go live without OIC, and that's precisely why you're sitting in this training program first. And that's precisely why we have such a great demand for integration specialists, OIC specialists. And OIC has 3 key components in it: integrations, VBCS and PCS, integrations, PCS and VBCS. And we used to have something called as analytics in OIC. It's taken out now in Gen 3. And this is going to be our focus area. And just 2 minutes, I'll open up the session for questions. I could see that a couple of folks have already raised the hand. It's a first session for your batch today. 15 of you have already paid the fees, and today by 11 o'clock, you would receive onboarding email from us. And in that onboarding email, you would have links to access the session recordings, instances, and the PPTs. So you could see that I'm recording this particular session, right? Yes, we record every live session that we do, and we are going to give you lifetime access to them. So if you have to miss any live session because of any personal or professional commitment, nothing to worry. You have a session recording to go through. And it's going to be a Monday to Saturday sessions, 6 to 7 a.m. IST is the time. Time is not going to change. Monday to Saturday, 6 to 7 a.m. IST, and the batch goes on for 8 weeks. Only Sunday would be off. And we would need roughly 51-hour sessions to complete the course. And what exactly do we do as part of the course? We would be building 15 complex integration flows, covering various integration patterns that you come across, 4 inbound integrations, 4 outbound integrations. And in the inbounds, I'm going to show you how to do a file-based integrations. And I'm going to talk about file-based automations like HDL automation or FPGA automation. I'm also going to talk about how to build the complex SOAP and REST APIs. We'll see an integration to use connectivity agent with on-prem applications. We'll see how to integrate Salesforce with ERP, like non-Oracle application to ERP. So we would build a wide variety of integration patterns, 15 complex integration flows, which would help you master integrations. And not just that, we would also be building 5 VBCS and 5 PCS applications. And one such application would be an end-to-end flow. So I'm going to build a custom end-to-end flow to help you understand how to link these cloud services together, VBCS to PCS to integration, and from integration to ERP cloud. That's actually a custom solution that I have created for a public council in UK, and I'm going to show that solution as is as part of the training course. Okay, so if you don't receive onboarding email by 11 a.m. today, do call me on this number or send me a WhatsApp message. In case you have not enrolled in a course yet, and if you're interested, drop me a message here. And as part of the course, you would have lifetime access to session recordings, and you would be given 3 months of instance access. That includes OIC, 3 months of access. And we would also give you access to Fusion Cloud application, plus a database in cloud, and we also give you access to SFTP server. So 4 infra services that you need to practice the use cases, we give you access for 3 months time. And of course, at the end of the course, we'll be there to assist you with a resume preparation, certification, guidance, and all that stuff. Okay, enough of marketing. Yeah, time for questions. Yes, Raj, please go on.
Yeah, this is Siraj.
Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, actually, okay. I have one scenario. Just want to understand. In OIC, if we create any integration,
Can you do it this way? It's a day 1 session, and people have a lot of questions regarding the course. Would you mind giving me a call on this number? Let's have a detailed one-on-one discussion. Let's not get into the customer use cases and waste the 5 minutes time. Okay, I will definitely answer your question. Let's have a detailed discussion on this. Give me a call at 11 a.m. sharp IST. Okay, any other questions, guys, regarding the course?
Yeah, Prasad, I have one question here. Myself, Nagaraj. Prasad, regarding this integration part, so what is the percentage to know the other language like Java, Python to integrate the
You don't
other
need
services?
anything. The only thing is you can make use of JavaScript library within the integration, but you will be using a JavaScript library 1 in 100 integrations. Quite rarely you use it, and that too in those scenarios when you need a JavaScript function, you can easily Google it out. So don't waste your time learning JavaScript or any other programming language. You don't need to know anything. Okay, and even the web service basics, guys. This is another important point. I get this as a first question in the demo session. They say, Prasad, I am not from integration background. I didn't do SOA or I didn't do any other integration build earlier. Can I still go ahead and learn OIC? Very much, and especially to help you folks with non-integration background. Day 3 and day 4 sessions that we do. Day 3 and day 4 sessions that we do, we would be covering the web service basics. So day 3, we would be focusing on SOAP services. Day 4, we'll be covering REST APIs. Okay, so absolutely, we take care of everything to keep it simple.
Okay, Prasad.
Any other questions, please? Yeah.
So what about
Yes,
our logics? Like, do you want to, or what is the percentage to write the logics by using SQL, PL side, and the integration part?
Sometimes what happens is, sometimes you might be getting files from other system and you might have to load it into Fusion Cloud. And yes, in some cases, you might get the file from a source system in a same format that we have to load it to Fusion Cloud. But in most cases, you don't get it in a right format. And a client might also want you to do some validations before you send the file to ERP. So what do you do in such case? We use a database layer. So in such file-based integrations, what do we do? After you pick up a file from data source, the data source would place a file here. After you pick up that file, before we send it to ERP Cloud directly, we would be plugging in a DB layer here. And whatever validations or transformations that your client wants you to do, you can do that PL SQL programming or SQL programming in a database, and you can call that database adapter here to do that. So we'll get into a granular details later on. But yes, if it is a file-based integration, and if there is a requirement to do some validations, you can probably write a simple PL SQL procedures in it.
Okay.
Any other questions, guys?
So we'll be seeing that use case as well, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah, this is quite an important use case, and we're going to spend almost like
Yeah.
4 to 5 hours in that file-based integration, because this is something that you come across very frequently. You would build at least 5 to 6 automated or file automations. We'll talk about that in depth.
Oh, okay. And
Any other-
so you're also supporting any hands-on work if somebody is stuck anywhere. So anything?
Yeah, if you when we build the first complex integration, the file transfer service, I'll teach you how to debug your integration yourself. And you would be given access to the same OIC instance that I'm going to use, meaning you have access to the integration. So if you get stuck, I'll be there to help you. But I'll teach you few things which enable you to debug your own integrations yourself. You don't even have to reach me. You have the integration I created in a session, you have PPT, you have session recording. And after using all of that, if you're still not able to figure it out, just drop me a message in WhatsApp. We'll revert back in a day or two. Okay, we have a team to support you.
Okay, one last question. Suppose I have some use case which is not as a part of integration and I want to discuss for 5-10 minutes.
If all you need is a guidance as to how to approach that particular problem, we'll be more than happy to help. Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions from anyone?
11 a.m. IST. Okay.
Yes, if you want to discuss any further details, yes, give me a call on this 11 a.m. IST.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions, guys? From anyone?
Yeah, Prasad, how it is different from MuleSoft? Because I've seen
It's a MuleSoft is a equally good integration product, but MuleSoft is used with integrations like a Salesforce or other implementation projects. Oracle Integration Cloud is used quite extensively with Fusion Cloud implementation projects. So if you go into MuleSoft and if you search for Oracle adapter, you might probably find 1 or 2. But how many adapters did we find in OIC for Oracle? There were 30 adapters there. So yes, and in MuleSoft, you don't have the capability to build a web applications or approval process there. You can only build integrations. So if you want to become a Salesforce architect, or if MuleSoft is equally a good integration product, no doubt about it. It doesn't have these 2 capabilities. But if you are looking to build your career in Oracle Fusion Cloud project, no client is going to use only MuleSoft to build the required integrations for Fusion Cloud, because this is OIC is something that is tailor-made for this. Okay, and the same applies for Delboomi as well. Any other questions from anyone, guys?
So OIC is only specific to Oracle ERP Cloud.
Not really. You can use OIC to integrate with any other system, but it is typically used with OIC. Sorry, you are typically used with Fusion Cloud. Okay. Yeah. And please join the same tomorrow session. Attend the same session with the same Zoom meeting link, guys. So if you want to check out one more session before you make a fee payment, absolutely nothing to worry. You can go ahead and do that as well. Join the session tomorrow with the same meeting link. And in tomorrow's session, I'm going to focus on these integration design aspects. So whatever options that you're seeing in this particular screen, we'll be spending our whole session talking about the options here. Yes, Abad.
Yeah, I guess I forgot.
No, that's okay. We can. You can give me a call on this number. Looks like you have quite a few questions. We can solve everything in one single call. Okay.
So which time shall I call you?
11 a.m. IST, please.
Okay, thank you. Sure.
Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow, same time.
Yeah, same time.